The investigation into a murder-suicide involving two HCSO employees continues tonight.
And now a woman has come forward alleging she was abused by the same detective who investigators believe was the sole shooter on January 29th. Last month, family and friends laid to rest Deputy Abigail Bieber, who was in a relationship with Daniel Leiden. Days before that, China Ratner posted a video to her Instagram page saying she dated Leiden 6 years ago. And now, in an exclusive interview, Ratner shares her story of emotional, mental, physical, and sexual abuse in hopes of helping others. She's bringing attention to the fear that surrounds reporting an abuser to law enforcement when that person is law enforcement. ABC Action News investigator Kylie McGivern has this story, but we do want to warn you tonight, the descriptions of domestic violence you're about to hear may be disturbing.
I've wanted to share my story. I just never felt safe enough to do it. I've never felt comfortable enough to do it.
For China Ratner, that changed after the news broke of a murder-suicide,
which was a huge, huge shock.
A preliminary investigation revealed Hillsborough County Detective Daniel Leiden shot and killed fellow Deputy Abigail Bieber and then killed himself. Soon after, Ratner posted an emotional 13-minute video to her Instagram page.
And it's taken me 5 years to talk about it. And it sucks that it took something like this for me to be able to speak about it.
When you heard the name Daniel Leiden, what came to mind?
Kind of just like a sinking pit feeling in my stomach. Lots of horrible flashbacks.
This is the first picture we're seeing of Leiden. The sheriff's office will not release his image.
What was your relationship with him?
So we dated for less than a year. We met after a really bad car accident that I had in 2015. And it involved me and my dog at the time. He passed away in the car accident.
Ratner was 21, Leiden a 25-year-old deputy.
He called me a couple times after that to check in on me. And then about a month later, he found me on Facebook and then asked me out on a date. It started off great. You know, he opened up all my car doors, he took me out on dates, flowers, the whole 9 yards, and started to realize that, you know, he would question where I was going or who I was going with or wanted an explanation of who they are and why I'm going to see them and why would I choose to go do that when I can go hang out with him.
Then Ratner says he turned violent.
Like got to the point where it became physical and sexual.
A turning point came on July 3rd, 2016.
And I went out with my friends to her house for a night, and I had to be home by a certain time. I pulled up to my apartment, and he was waiting for me outside and started screaming at me for being late, that he didn't want me to go out, and it turned, you know, very, very aggressive. He started punching my car window, trying to break it, trying to get me out of the car. So I was like, I'm gonna leave. And he told me that he was gonna put his foot underneath the tire of my car so that if I did back out, I'd have to run over his foot. And I panicked and I backed out, ran over his foot, and then he called the cops. And I realized at that time that he's 100% using his power and badge to try to scare me, to manipulate me.
The incident detailed in a report we obtained from the sheriff's office, backing up Ratner's memories. A deputy noted she was initially reluctant to speak until she learned Leiden wanted to press charges against her.
But they took both of our statements, kept us separate, and they basically told him that he needs to go home for the night, and I went back to my apartment.
In Leiden's statement, he said she was mad and refused to talk to him and that she had been drinking. Messages between Ratner and Leiden revealed she texted him, "I just want to talk to you. That's it. I don't want you to hurt me or lash out at me." Leiden told deputies he wanted to stop Ratner from driving while intoxicated, but they found she wasn't drunk. Detectives discussed charges of kidnapping, false imprisonment against Leiden, and aggravated battery against Ratner with the state attorney's office. But according to the report, there was not evidence of a criminal act. That's where it ended.
I told them that he was controlling. I told them that he was trying to stop me from leaving. I told them that he was punching my car. I told them all of these things that I didn't feel safe.
Deputies gave Ratner a victim's rights pamphlet. The incident, cleared as unfounded, was not included in Leiden's personnel file. Instead, we found positive performance reviews, including one 7 months before officials say he killed Bieber and himself. Daniel Leiden is well aware of his role in the public eye and would do nothing to diminish the public's trust in him or in the sheriff's office. Aside from 2 crashes deemed avoidable, his work history is punctuated with 9 certificates of commendation over his 8.5-year career. After the incident in 2016, Ratner and Leiden broke up. But there was another incident of violence that still haunts her when he followed her home.
Once we were inside, he was screaming at me. He was pulling on my arm, pulling on the back of my hair, just yelling at me erratically. And I looked at him and I was like, I have to walk the dogs, so can I just go outside and walk the dogs? And in my mind, I was like, you know, this is my one opportunity to get outside, maybe flag somebody down, do anything. And before I could even get the leashes on the dogs, he grabbed the back of my head, pulled out his gun, put it to the side of my head, looked me right in the eyes and told me that if I were to scream, run, or talk to anybody, that he would shoot my dogs in front of me, shoot me, and then kill himself.
And it was just hours of verbal, physical, mental, sexual abuse.
Abuse she never reported.
He was a cop. He was a good guy. He had power. I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
The sheriff's office would not agree to an interview after multiple requests to meet with Sheriff Chad Chronister. Instead, it provided a statement to the I-Team, telling us, our internal affairs section immediately reached out to Ratner after being made aware of the very concerning statements she made on social media regarding her relationship with Leiden. We are continuing to work with her to investigate those allegations.
And it took me 5 years to say something. And if I didn't leave, if I didn't move, this could have been me. It could have been any of our friends. It could be any woman. And it's terrifying. It's sad.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, there are resources available. Please call the Florida Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-500-1119. We've also included more resources across the Bay Area on our website, abcactionnews.com. I'm I-Team investigator Kylie McGivern, taking action for you.
The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office is handling the ongoing investigation into the murder-suicide, which happened at a vacation rental in St. Augustine. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office encourages domestic violence victims and survivors to report the abuse, saying, quote, no one, regardless of their occupation, is above the law.